So I want to have a show of hands over here. How many of you knows what's gamification? So what's the rest doing here? Okay, so I'm going to try my best to articulate to you what gamification really is. I just want to share with you a personal story that happened last night. So Neil was there with me. I was attending a party that my friend just launched, and he kind of plugged me in and said that, hey, Keith is the guy that does gamification. And we were having the meal at Absinthe, a very fantastic, French-tastic restaurant at 73 Boat Quay. Strongly recommended. And so I had to pitch gamification as, it's really the application of game psychology into offline behaviors. And this British guy standing beside me was like, gamification? Did you make up that word yourself? And I was like, no, I didn't make up the word, right? You can check out Wikipedia and everything else. So he was really saw that, this Chinese Asian guy knows a word that he doesn't know. And then I came to him and said that, hey, by the way, but I did make up a word myself. It's called Gametize, which is the name of my company. So it's really a very new field, and my job here today is to make sure that you guys knows roughly what's gamification, so you guys can impress those British gentlemen next time you go to another party. So without further ado, let me just talk about myself very briefly. I'm the co-founder and hustler. Hustle Ninja. Hustler is a porn term, by the way, for the lead character the male character in the pornography firm. So I'm a hustle ninja. And my gamification adventure really started off, with dating. So let's talk about dating a little bit. Dating today, there's just way too many freaking guys out there, right? I think in a typical dating site, there will be 90% guys, 10% girls. It's oversubscribed with guys. So what we're going to do is to introduce dating as a game for ladies. And as we all know today, girls are very viral gamers. So what we want to do is to make it more fun for the girls to come into the dating site and increase the number of girls. And through the course of doing that, we actually managed to increase the percentage of girls in the dating site from the industry average of 10% to 20% on our own dating website. And perhaps I just want to talk a little bit about some of the badges that I've unlocked, and I'm happy to say that I actually know a little bit of Dutch, so that's one of the very rare skills that people have. I'm a guy who likes to unlock a lot of different experiences, so you can say that I'm a very gamified personality myself. And I'm actually pretty proud that I had dinner with the Reddit co-founder when I was in Austin. But one thing that I'm really very pleased to actually announce is that I'll be the first speaker from Asia representing in Gamification Summit that's happening next month. So if you happen to be in San Fran, please give me a shout out, let me know. So a quick plug, what Gametize is all about. So Gametize is a gamification startup. We have our own technology. And some of our clients include Singtel, Singapore Sports Council, Standard Chartered Bank. And we have a product called GameMaki. And as Peter has shared, it's actually a product that we actually pitch on Angel's Gate. It's a platform where we promise you that you can create your own game in 5 minutes. But before you create a game, I'm going to step you through some cheat codes, how you should actually create a gaming experience. So the problem that we want to talk about over here today is that many of you here have gone through 2 days very intensive workshops about how to bring customers, how do you do advertising, how do you do PR, and how do you continue to engage them. My role today is to share with you, after you've gotten like 100,000 Facebook likes, what's next for you? How do you then keep your customers or consumers engaged? And a little bit of trivia over here, $3 billion spent in 2011 on social media marketing. But 60% of freaking guys don't care about your campaign. And that represents a huge loss in your consumer purchase. So why do you want to engage your audience? No matter how much I put a spin around it, engineer it, you can only boil down to 3 main factors. You want to engage them to spend on your products. You want to engage them to engage. You want to engage them to spend in the future. And you want to be able to engage them to spend, to engage others to spend in the future as well. So these are the 3 main blocks. Just keep this in mind as I'm going to talk about more of gamification techniques that you can use. So the best way to actually show how you can engage people is basically gamifying my own talk. So this is a little bit of context over here. I would really appreciate if you guys show some enthusiasm and participate in this. And it's very simple, right? You just need to tweet about me, right? You can say that this guy is a horrible speaker. I have completely no problem with that. You can tweet that, this guy is talking bullshit, bullocks. Or, Keith is pretty interesting. He talks about something that nobody else knows about. And one tweet will represent a chance for you. And 5 lucky winners will get $1,000 worth of credits on GameMaki. And for the 1 lucky winner, we'll promise to build a mobile application for you, right? So that's something that you can hold me to. At any point of time, right, my Twitter handle will be on the top right-hand corner. And I just spoke to the guys from my news desk. They promised that they will give away more credits for the lucky winners over here. So if you don't have Twitter, where have you been? Who doesn't have Twitter over here? Oh, everyone has Twitter, okay. But if you happen to be shy, you can just drop me a mail over here, and that gets you 1 chance as well. So does anyone know what this is? Make a guess. Neil? Come on, we spoke about this yesterday. What's that? Right, what kind of chemical is that? It's dopamine. So dopamine is going to be at the heart of the discussion today. So I just want to put a big disclaimer over here. I'm not trained in psychology, I'm not trained in biology, behavioral science, but what I'm going to share with you is a very on the surface layer, right? What dopamine can do for you, and what dopamine is all about. So this is actually a photo of 4 gamers that this research company kind of took of them while they were playing a game. As you can see of them, the guy on the top right-hand corner, right, is sticking his tongue out. And the guy on the bottom left is in euphoria, right? And the lady over there, she's kind of so engrossed. I was like, man, this is fun, man. I want to see what's going to happen. And in each of these 4 phases, what's really happening over here is a dopamine rush to the head. Dopamine is a neurotransmitter that comes to a head whenever you get pleasure. It's the same kind of neurotransmitter that gets activated when you smoke, when you buy something, or when you have sex, right? It's a very powerful chemical that games are inducing in each and every one of us. And I dare to actually make this statement that all of you over here has played games at one point of life, right? Let me just check with this gentleman. What's your favorite game ever? No Candy Crush, please. Angry Birds. That's a really good game, by the way. Yeah. Anyone else? Just throw another game title that you like. How about you? What's your favorite game ever? No, you never played games before. Candy Crush, okay. I accept that. Yeah. I have a personal prejudice against Candy Crush because my mom is playing that all the time. And she's sending me so much invites, I'm like, Mom, stop it. But this is actually a very interesting point. I'll actually go back to gamer behaviors at a later age. And my favorite game is actually Pac-Man, right? To me, it's a classic game. You have competition in it, you have achievements that you can unlock later on. That's a countdown ticker element as well, right? And that's the thrill of killing people, right? So within a short conversation over here, I've actually shared with you the 4 player types I am. I'm an explorer, I'm an achiever, I'm a killer, and I'm a socializer. So gamification really sounds really fun, right? It's all about bring fun to offline context. But let the truth be heard. I freaking hate this word. I'm not allowed to swear over here because I know it's being videotaped. But this word says, it's fine? Okay, I fucking hate this word, right? Right. This term doesn't say anything about the 4 main important pillars that I think gamification is all about. Beginning with behavioral changes. Second, data. Third, psychology. And 4th, measurement. It really is a very serious word, but the word itself doesn't sound serious. And just to share with you a little bit that DBS, Standard Chartered Bank, which are my customers, they're really embarking on that. But in the other side of the world, in US, you get IBM, Microsoft, Deloitte, SAP, Oracle. These guys have already embarked and set up their own gamification department. Schools like NUS, Stanford, they're already teaching gamification as a singular module. So it really is a very serious business. And some research shows that the Gartner actually says that 70% of global 2,000 companies will be using gamification, and $1.6 billion will be spent, in the same year as well. So what I want to share with you is, other than engaging your customers, I think Keith Timimi, by the way, he's like a rock star for me, right? When he was on his way out, actually walking to a car park, he was sharing a talk about how you can engage your customers with creative content. But let's be honest, not many of us can be creative like Keith himself, right? And what I want to share with you is a framework to how you can engage your customers or consumers with the word fun, which is a universal language. So gamification is actually really very new, right? It has been around for a long time. And my favorite example is actually Foursquare. Before Foursquare came about, there was Google Latitude. Anyone use Google Latitude ever? Okay, I kind of figure out your age. Right, that's my era. I was on Google Latitude with my co-founder, Damon, and he would drop me a random SMS and say, hey, how is it happening in Geylang? How is it happening in Orchard? How's the weather over there? Because I kind of share my location. And I got so freaked out, I just switched off sharing. Right? And that was the exact same problem why Google Latitude didn't take off. It's a location-based sharing tool. But Foursquare kind of changed the game around, no pun intended. And they added PBL, points, badges, leaderboard, and making it more fun and interesting for everyone to share location. So they kind of revolutionized how checking in is like, how sharing a location is like. They make it more fun. And of course, to me personally, education is one of the biggest games in life. Just a very badly designed one. If you think about it, there's a rank system, there's a leveling system, there's a point system, there's a team system, team play element. That's an end goal as well, right? And at the end of it, you see a light tunnel, you go through it, and then go into life. So to me, that's a really good replica of games. So we have been through a lot of gamification throughout our whole life. So I'm going to share with you some examples, some good, some bad. And any guys from MediaCorp over here, by the way? I hope not. Right, this is one of the bad examples. And Me Club, right? I'm going to share with you why I think this is such a bad example. So you guys probably know about how they try to give points for you to watch TV shows, right? And I can bet that none of you has the same application on your own iPhone or smartphone. Anybody? Right, so see, that kind of proves my point. I actually tried to install that, and then it kind of prompts me to enter in my NRIC, lots of information, right? My age, where I stay, and I just kind of got turned off, right? The onboarding experience is just way too difficult for me to try to experience gamification anyway. Right, Shopkit, I think you guys might have heard of Tech Sailor this morning, Leon. So what they do is they kind of import a technology to kind of detect sound waves. The moment you walk into a shop, your smartphone kind of automatically checks you in. And this is actually kind of viral in the US. They're actually giving people incentives to check into different shops and at the same time earning points. One of my favorite gamification examples, and in fact some of you would just like yawn and say, isn't this just like a loyalty platform? I would say that gamification is actually very much like a loyalty platform. It just packs a little bit more fun. So in Hilton, they actually make it really social for you to kind of connect to the brand. You get points just by connecting your Facebook to the system. You get points just for checking in early. You get points for tweeting about and sharing about information about Hilton. So that's actually a really powerful example. And of course, I have to talk about DBS and DBS Remix. So for anyone who's from NUS right here, this was actually the campaign that we did for DBS and NUS, where people would design a credit card campaign. So when you design credit cards, you get people to vote on you. For every vote, you get 1 point. It's a very simple gamification implementation. Okay, please ignore the spelling error over here. It's a very old slide. I haven't had a chance to change that. But McDonald's Monopoly, right? Insanely viral campaign. Whenever they launch this campaign, I would never have peace in McDonald's because people will be coming to me, this auntie will be coming with me with a big plastic bag and say that, do you want that coupon over there, right? Can I have that? So this is actually one of my favorite another one of my favorite campaigns that actually kind of get me into a gamification game. Keep. So some of you might have heard of this. They kind of like gamify advertising. So what they do is whenever you complete an Angry Bird level, right, you manage to kill all the pigs over there, and they will just prompt you a Pepsi coupon. Congrats, you have just earned yourself a Pepsi voucher. In reality, this is just an advertisement. It's just a paid advertisement, right? But what Keep does really very cleverly is they kind of make it like a reward to you. You earn it. You deserve it. Now go for that. Samsung Nation, by far, I think the best implementation of gamification ever. So if you guys know about Facebook, is Andy around here, by the way? Andy Huang, yeah. So the latest statistics for outreach on Facebook fan page testing is that you can only reach out to 16%, 16% of your audience using Facebook campaigns. And retention is very low, right? On even like normal websites. I would say about 30% login rate. So what Samsung Nation have done is they increased their login rate to 200%. And don't ask me the exact information, but they kind of gamify customer reviews. And you'll be able to get your customers to give you comments, tweet about you, share about you on Facebook, and they'll earn points along the way. And they kind of gamify the entire experience of engaging with the brand. So Samsung Nation is actually done by my competitors, Batchview. It's a rock solid campaign. I would strongly encourage you guys to check it out. And of course, Gmarket, Cool10. Yeah, this is actually, I'm actually a victim of this website. I'm a victim because I'm actually a regular shopper. I guess when it comes to a certain age sometimes, you just hardly have any more time to do shopping. So I became an online shopper myself these days. And one of the biggest shopping sites that I go is actually Cool10. Do you guys know that they are selling Chinese New Year goods over here? They're selling prawns, right? Right. I thought that was really very cool. So I was actually one of the victims because every day I would log in just to earn the points. And I would play this spin the wheel contest where I would never ever win anything. Right? I've tried like, I think 20 times, and every time I get, actually this is not a very accurate picture because they used to have one sector that says that, please try again. Right? So I'll end up using all my credits that I've earned through my comments, my reviews on this freaking website. So this is a really rock solid example. I'm a gamification guy and I actually fell for somebody else's gamified campaign. And of course, gamification is not just tied to marketing, F&B, electronic goods. You can actually gamify marketing of games as well. And this is one of the campaigns that we work with AsiaSoft and Digital Life. And what we do is we kind of get people to do challenges of them looking at barbarian, do challenges of them looking like drinking a mana potion, right? And along the way, they will actually earn points. And the top prize, as you can see over there, unfortunately I can zoom in, it's actually the Alienware PC. So that was the #1 prize. And they will give me a Razer mouse as well. So you can see that gamification is actually a very popular method, not just for consumer products. So games are powerful, right? What I was trying to get to you is they cause a sense of dopamine rush to your head whenever you achieve a reward. And this dopamine rush keeps you coming back. You're addicted to this particular phenomenon. And it's a strong pull factor. And personally, the reason I've been a compulsive gamer myself, right? I haven't slept I've ever tried not sleeping for 48 hours, you know? And I would say that games or gaming can be an illness. It can be a disease in your head. But what we want to do is to set things right and to make it beneficial to mankind. That's why we are here. So talking about beneficial to mankind, can anyone guess the average age of gamers? I think 25? Any more guess? 35. Actually, that's really close. Geraldine. Is Geraldine around? Yeah, I'll get you a t-shirt later. Get you a t-shirt. Yeah, so... Okay, so gamers really are, it's not just a regular Generation G, which I call the Generation Gamers. It's not just the kids who will walk past a window and try to swipe the window, right? Or try to zoom in, Gamers are not tied down by the age limits. So my mom is the best example. Candy Crush, Starter Mania machine. By the way, Starter Mania is a game that I completely can't understand at all. It's just a finger trashing game. But these are games that keeps people from coming back. So I would like to share with you a quick framework that we use. As with all marketers, we all like acronyms, right? So we have an acronym of our own. It's called the 5D acronym. And it was actually inspired by Professor Kevin Webbage from Coursera, gamification course. So in order to make a good gamification campaign, you first have to start off with defining a problem, right? If anyone comes to me and say that, Keith, I would like to introduce gamification to my e-commerce website because I think it's fun, right? I'm going to have to turn him down because this guy he doesn't face any problem, obviously. I can't help him with that. And you have to determine a goal, right? Do you want to increase your retention rate? Do you want to increase your sales? Do you want to keep people coming back again and again? Or do you want to get people to spread the word for you? So you define and determine your goal. And of course, you have to decide what's the target behavior. So I'm going to share with you some examples later on. And fourth of all, you have to describe your players, right? Whether they're socializers, explorers, killers, or achievers. And finally, you have to design your gamification strategy. So these are the 4 player types by a legend called Richard Butler. And I can't think of any other type of players beyond these 4 generally. Does anyone want to make a guess? How many percentage of the players are actually killers? Make a guess. Anybody? Yep. 10%. Are you a killer?
No, I'm being killed usually.
You're being killed usually. So you are the socialites, probably. Yeah. Okay. Any more guess? 80%. 80%. Are you in the insurance company or what? Right. Okay. It's actually less than 1%. Right. Yeah, less than 1%. Very big difference. 80% would fall under socialites actually. So you're obviously not a socialite. Socializers are they form 80% of gamers' population, whether it's in Facebook. And this is just a benchmark figure, right? It's just a ballpark figure. Don't hold me to that. Don't tweet about me and say, Keith says 80%. Actually, I'm not the one who says that. But what's really interesting is I had a chance to talk to Richard Butler on a Skype conversation. I actually took a screenshot of that. And I asked him the question. So if killers are just like 1%, why would you want to create a game for killers? Why would you want to create a gamification experience for killers? And his answer to me is that this 1% of killers actually keep guys like him, who are the socializers, 80%, grouped together. That's when they have a common goal to take over the killers. So it's a super interesting concept, by the way. And by the way, you're wondering, explorers and achievers, 10% each. So they all should add up to 100%. Again, a shameless plug again. This is a framework that we use to create a gamification campaign. And let's start off with G, right? We think that in order for you to create a gamification campaign that targets your campaign, you have to give generous rewards. So there's no hiding from that. You can't give out a keychain and ask people to do the mountain for you. They're not going to do that. But it could be a very generous price that has a lot of cash value tied to that. Or it could be a simple dinner with John Ferron, right, for example. Right, that can be very generous for a lot of... Yeah. And let's move on to A. So A stands for appeals and freshness. So I was having a conversation with Elisha from Learn Me just now. And she was just asking me, hey, how do we keep content from being fresh, right? We know that fresh content is important to keep people coming back. And my solution is you have to create a system that's very easy to maintain, right? You can't create a gamification campaign where you outsource to, 5,000 miles away from you. That's going to be very difficult. And of course, it has to be easy to start, right? The media cloud makes it so difficult for me to do anything at all. So I kind of gave up on that. And on the left side, we have TISE. T stands for teamwork, right? If you can create a gamification campaign that kind of rounds up everybody together and cooperate, that would be a very successful campaign because everyone is cooperating again. And intrinsic motivation. So after I get John out offer John as a prize in a drop my email campaign, what keeps people coming back to the game that maybe Drop My Email has been creating is not John anymore, right? People say that, hey, this is a really fucking good service. I have to keep using this every day. So you have to create an intrinsic motivation. And of course, social actions and social engagement is a non-brainer. So I just want to share with you a case study that we did with ACE Entrepreneurship Week. It's actually Spring in Singapore. So the problem statement is very clear. Any one of you been to ChannelNewsAsia Mall over here? Or even heard of that? Right? So when Spring came to me, I never even heard of this shopping center, ChannelNewsAsia Mall. And that's precisely the problem that they want to solve. They want to bring traffic to this place where the event is being held at. And the target goal over here is to encourage people to check out all the merchants in the shopping mall. And of course, to stay throughout the event. And what we have designed for them very thoroughly is to create a QR code for different challenges in all the merchants, where they will go and do and get points for that. And along the way, climb through the leaderboard. And you can see that it's a campaign that's targeted at secondary school kids and some primary school kids. And you'll be amazed that, I'm actually completely amazed that a lot of these kids actually have smartphones device on their own already. And for those who don't have it, they manage to persuade their parents to lend them a smartphone for the entire day. No idea how they do that. But we actually managed to get some really good results. So within 2 days, actually it says over here 1 week, but the truth is it's actually done being in just 2 days. We have a total of 3,500 challenges that's being generated over here, right? So which means that we have an average of 1,500 people doing all the challenges, and each of them will be doing about close to 2.5 challenges. And the kind of social activities and conversations that we created around all the merchants, including Subway, Frog League, Marble Slab, is tremendous. So I'm going to share with you some what not to do, right, for gamification. And definitely it's not a magic pill. It definitely is not something that you can just plug and play. If you don't do it well enough, it will backfire. So the very first tip that I have for you is, right, just give away one John Farrell. Just one of him is enough, right? Don't keep giving him away, right? One of the very classic case studies that comes to my mind right away is, you guys might have read the book Freakonomics. And there was this particular situation where one of the authors is trying to train his kids to go to the toilet. Every time she goes to the toilet, they'll give her one candy when she comes back. And it backfired because what was happening was the girl was holding a pee. And she goes to the toilet 5 times within a minute. Right? She was holding a pee, letting go a little bit, and coming back and get a candy. So she kind of broke the system that these two economies kind of created for them. So, by giving too much rewards, you can actually backfire. And of course, I can't focus on this enough, right? You have to create real fun, not just very supervision kind of fun. And you have to keep the challenges very fresh as well. Keep the dopamine level coming again and again, because dopamine will get tired one day, right? If you keep showing the same things, they'll just become extinct. And create a game that encourages team play. And because by creating teamworks, you're building a community. And I think rewards doesn't need to be very expensive all the time. It can be intrinsic, it can be extrinsic. By extrinsic, it can be creative as well. So I think some of the best gamification campaigns I've seen so far, they were giving away almost nothing, right? They were giving, away maybe a date with a dinner date with a blogger, celebrity blogger. And there's actually, a lot of you might have cheated in your life before, right? I think it's part of human nature. And there's no denying that I would cheat in games as well. I'm a compulsive gamer. But what really good game designers or game marketers will do is they create a game for cheating. So let me give you an example, right? In ACE Entrepreneurship Week, the objective was to train entrepreneurs. They were giving a lot of talks about how school children will be getting votes from all their peers, and they want to train them to be the next big Steve Jobs or Bill Gates of Singapore. And to do that, they have to actually get their friends to scan a QR code, go to their booth and scan a QR code to get votes. And what these students do is actually And Spring Singapore was coming to me and saying that, hey Keith, but what if they, they will be cheating, right? They might just take a photo of the QR code and send to all their friends, and they will just be cheating and getting free votes. And my point to them was, but you're training entrepreneurs. You're training entrepreneurs. We must learn how to cheat the system. We must learn how to do some life hacking, right? So you see, by doing that, we are actually cleverly designing a system for these guys to cheat, and that's actually part of our objective as well. So if you're able to design, going back to the digital marketing world, if you're able to design a game where people are cheating and then uncovering a discount code, right, the likelihood of them converting the discount code is much higher than you would give to them normally, because that's a perceived value of how much effort they have done to earn the voucher. So what can you do to gamify your campaign? I mean, after hearing all the stuff I've shared, and there are some tools out there, right? Batch View, Punch Tab, Gigia, and of course, the best system, GameMaki. So, strongly encourage you to try out GameMaki. So again, going back to the tweet contest, if you guys are still keen on winning the $10,000 worth of mobile applications, just give it a go, right? And this contest is open till for the next hour. So that's a countdown element over here as well. And talking about countdown ticker, right? I think that's actually one of the factors why Groupon succeeded so virally, right? They added a countdown ticker because coupon industry has been around for thousands of years, right? Groupon doesn't really do anything new except adding a countdown ticker. So that's my conclusion. So with that, I hope you accept the challenge to try to gamify your campaigns. And feel free to talk to me. I don't think you can miss me. I'm in pink today. Right? Thank you so much.